Today we're going to talk about a subject that truly touches the lives of nearly every older adult, something that can determine whether our later years are lived with vitality or with struggle, and that subject is heart health. There's a saying that when people grow old, the first thing to weaken is the legs. But if you ask a cardiologist, many of them will add, when the legs grow lazy, the heart begins to collapse. Now, that may sound a bit harsh, but the truth behind it is undeniable. The heart is not just an organ quietly working in the background. It is the engine of our later years. If we allow it to weaken from inactivity, the whole body suffers. Let's really take some time to reflect on this idea. The human heart, from the moment we take our very first breath at birth until the last moment of our lives, never stops beating. It works tirelessly, pushing out blood that nourishes every single organ and tissue in our body. Unlike a machine that can be switched off or repaired with spare parts, the heart is a living pump. It can adapt and remain strong, but only if we give it the right conditions. Once we reach retirement age, many people think they've earned the right to simply sit back and rest all day. And while there's nothing wrong with slowing down a little, the danger lies in becoming too sedentary, too still, too quiet. Think about the typical routine of many retirees in America today. From the bedroom to the living room, from the sofa to the kitchen, perhaps out to the mailbox and back. Step counters show that many older adults barely accumulate more than a few hundred steps in an entire day. Long hours sitting in a recliner, watching television, sometimes not even bothering to get up for a glass of water. This may feel like comfort, but in reality, it's a silent danger. The heart begins to weaken faster than our chronological years are passing. Studies in the United States show that more than half of adults over the age of 65 have some level of heart function decline, and a large portion of that group gets little to no exercise at all. Here's the critical point. The heart does not simply decline because of salt, sugar, or cholesterol. Those certainly play a role, but one of the most underestimated threats to the aging heart is pure inactivity. Imagine your heart as a well filled with fresh water. If no one draws from it regularly, mud and debris begin to clog the spring, and the water turns stagnant. In the same way, if the heart is not challenged through movement, blood flow slows, metabolic waste builds up, vessels stiffen, and efficiency drops. The result? Fatigue, shortness of breath, chest discomfort, and eventually more serious cardiovascular conditions. Now, some might hear this and immediately want to rush out and join the nearest Zumba class or attempt a full session of Tai Chi in the park. While enthusiasm is wonderful, the truth is that not every kind of movement is safe or effective for older adults, especially if started suddenly. What we need is not just movement, but the right kind of movement, exercise that is rhythmic, goal-oriented, safe, and gentle enough to protect the joints while still strong enough to train the heart. Doctors specializing in cardiology actually recommend a handful of simple but powerful exercises designed specifically for older adults. Let's walk through them carefully. 1. Coordinated walking with breathing, a rhythm for the heart. Walking is one of the most natural forms of movement. But when combined with mindful breathing, it becomes a therapeutic exercise for the heart. Here's how it works. Take a 20-minute walk, ideally once in the morning and once in the evening. At first, breathe in for 3 steps, then breathe out for 3 steps. Once comfortable, gradually increase to 5 steps per inhale, 5 per exhale. This synchronization helps regulate heart rhythm, stabilize blood pressure, and increase oxygen delivery to tissues. For individuals with mild hypertension or irregular heartbeat, this simple practice is often safer and more effective than high-intensity exercise. Over time, many people report that climbing stairs becomes easier and breathlessness diminishes, a clear signal that the heart's efficiency is improving. 2. Standing stretch routine, gentle flexibility, stronger circulation. Stretching isn't just for athletes. Older adults benefit greatly from light static stretching, especially in the back, shoulders, and hips. 1 practical movement. Place both hands against a wall. Keep the heels on the floor, and gently lean forward to stretch the calves and thighs. Just 5 minutes twice a day can improve circulation, ease muscle tension, and reduce nighttime episodes of angina, chest pain. The key is to avoid overexertion. Stretch slowly, stop if you feel pain, and focus on the feeling of muscles gradually lengthening. Research shows that stretching relieves pressure on blood vessels, keeps blood flow steady, and prevents sudden spikes in blood pressure. 3. Light resistance training, building strength to support the heart. Many seniors fear that strength training is dangerous, but in reality, gentle resistance is essential for protecting the heart. We're not talking about heavy barbells, just light hand weights about 1 pound each, or even water bottles. Exercises like forward arm raises or lateral raises, performed 10 times in 2 sets daily, can make a world of difference. Stronger muscles help the body circulate blood more efficiently. Studies have shown that moderate strength training enhances the left ventricle's function. That's the main pumping chamber of the heart. When this chamber relaxes and contracts more effectively, the heart pumps blood with less strain, reducing the risk of heart failure. 4. Bedside leg raises and ankle movements. Exercise without leaving bed. Not every senior feels confident standing or walking for long periods. For those recovering from illness or dealing with frailty, exercise can still be done lying down. Simply lifting the legs, flexing the ankles, or performing gentle bicycle motions in bed stimulates venous return, the flow of blood back toward the heart. Why is this important? Because when blood lingers in the veins of the legs, clots can form, leading to dangerous conditions like deep vein thrombosis. Just 2 sets of 10 repetitions before bedtime can dramatically reduce this risk while strengthening circulation. These are not dramatic exercises, but they are profoundly effective. The danger for the heart is not short-term exertion, but long-term idleness. Many older adults mistakenly believe that because they already have a heart condition, exercise will only make matters worse. Unless a doctor specifically advises against movement, the truth is usually the opposite. A sedentary lifestyle weakens muscles, stiffens vessels, and slows metabolism. This forces the heart to work harder, even during rest. Over time, this becomes the true danger, not movement itself, but the absence of it. In fact, the American Heart Association has reported that even light activities like brisk walking reduce the risk of sudden cardiac death in older adults by nearly 30%. That is a staggering number, a reminder that while medication is important, lifestyle choices play an equally critical role. But let's address another question. Why does inactivity actually strain the heart rather than give it rest? Here's the science. When you sit still for long periods, the sympathetic nervous system, the accelerator of the heart, becomes overly active. The heart rate increases subtly, placing the organ in a constant state of low-level stress. At the same time, prolonged sitting increases insulin resistance, raising blood sugar and contributing to plaque buildup inside the arteries. That means narrower blood vessels, more resistance to blood flow, and greater effort required by the heart to push blood through. Add to this the psychological side. Inactivity often worsens anxiety and depression, which further disrupts heart rhythm and raises inflammation in the body. On the other hand, exercise helps the body produce endorphins, the so-called feel-good chemicals. These regulate mood, reduce anxiety, and directly improve heart rhythm stability. So, moving isn't just physical therapy, it's mental and emotional therapy as well. Now, here's a fascinating fact you may not have heard. The heart dislikes loneliness. Research has shown that prolonged feelings of isolation actually increase inflammation in the body, damaging blood vessels and raising the risk of coronary heart disease. Exercise, especially in group settings like a walking club or a low-impact class, combats this by creating opportunities for connection. Just sharing a laugh or a conversation during a stroll can reduce stress hormones and improve heart resilience. Another lesser-known truth: the heart loves sunlight. Adequate vitamin D, synthesized when our skin is exposed to morning sunlight, helps regulate calcium channels in heart muscle cells. Without it, irregular heart rhythms become more likely. So, a morning walk outdoors not only gets you moving, not only boosts mood, but also tops up vitamin D levels, strengthening both bones and heart function. So, how often should you move, and for how long? Experts recommend at least 5 days per week, with 30 minutes of moderate exercise each time. It doesn't have to be all at once. 2 sessions of 15 minutes can be just as effective. The key is consistency. As for intensity, here are 2 easy rules. 1. During exercise, your heart rate should be about 60 to 70% of your safe maximum, calculated as 170 minus your age. And 2. You should be able to talk comfortably, but not sing. If you're too breathless to speak, you're pushing too hard. If you can sing a song without difficulty, you're probably not pushing enough. Certain precautions are important. Those taking beta-blocker medications may not see much change in heart rate during exercise, so instead of numbers, focus on perceived exertion. Are you moderately tired but not exhausted? That's the sweet spot. Avoid exercising right after meals or on an empty stomach. The best time is 1 to 2 hours after eating. And in extreme weather, very hot or very cold, move indoors, doing stretches or leg lifts instead of outdoor workouts. At the end of the day, many older adults assume that taking it easy is the safest path. But the reality is that too much rest can slowly erode quality of life. The real enemy of the aging heart is not a rich meal or occasional stress, it is idleness. Each step we take, each stretch we make, is a message to the body that we are still engaged, still active, still alive. Think of the heart like a car. You may change the oil, top up the gas, and replace the tires, but if the car sits unused in the garage, rust sets in and the engine weakens. Medication can treat conditions, but it cannot replace the strengthening and healing effects of regular movement. The foundation of late-life happiness is not being cared for while sitting in a chair. It's being able to walk outside, to chat with friends, to enjoy the taste of life's small pleasures. And all of that rests on one thing: a healthy heart. So, let me encourage you today, don't wait. Start with something simple: a short walk after breakfast, a few gentle stretches during television commercials, a set of leg lifts before bed. It doesn't need to be dramatic. What matters is that you do it consistently. Over time, you will notice your breathing improving, your sleep deepening, and your mood lifting. These are the gifts your heart gives back to you when you take care of it. Protecting the heart begins with movement. Don't let laziness quietly steal your strength. Even small steps are powerful. Your heart, your lifelong companion, will thank you with energy, stability, and years of life well lived.